The rain hammered against the metal roof of Marcus Webb's remote research station on Kepler 442b, a sound that had become his only companion during the past 18 months. He was 3 light years from Earth, studying atmospheric conditions on this frontier world when the storm began 6 days ago. His instruments detected something large crushing through the forest canopy 2 kilometers north of his station. Marcus pulled on his environmental suit and ventured into the alien wilderness. The violet sky churned with unnatural clouds as twin. Suns fought to pierce through the darkness. He followed a trail of broken crystalline trees and scattered debris until he found her. The creature lay motionless beside a twisted piece of what appeared to be spacecraft wreckage. She stood nearly 8 feet tall, her lean frame covered in sleek silver fur marked with intricate blue patterns. 4 arms ended in clawed hands, and her elongated skull housed large amber eyes that tracked his movement despite her obvious weakness. A predator, he realized, but one that posed no immediate threat in her current state. Her breathing came in shallow gasps. Dark blood seeped from wounds across her torso, where metal fragments had torn through her natural armor. Marcus had seen enough injured animals to recognize the signs of severe dehydration and starvation. Whatever she was, wherever she came from, she was dying. Every protocol in his handbook screamed warnings about contact with unknown alien species. Earth Command would court-martial him for even approaching without proper containment procedures. But Marcus looked into those amber eyes and saw something that transcended species, barriers, the universal plea for help. He activated his suit's translation protocols and spoke slowly. "I want to help you." Her head tilted slightly, and she made a sound that his translator rendered as human. "Yes. Can you walk?" She struggled to rise on trembling legs, her 4 arms bracing against the muddy ground. Marcus stepped forward and offered his shoulder for support. She hesitated, then accepted his aid. Together, they made the difficult journey back to his station. Marcus cleared his laboratory and helped her onto the examination table. She allowed him to clean and bandage her wounds without resistance, though her eyes never left his face. When he offered her water, she drank desperately. When he presented various food rations, she sniffed each one carefully before consuming what her biology could process. Over the following days, her strength returned. She introduced herself as Kira, a scout and hunter from the Valderon Republic. Her ship had been damaged while fleeing from raiders who had destroyed her hunting party. She had been drifting for weeks before crashing on this world. Marcus learned that Valderon society valued strength above all else. The weak were abandoned, the injured left to prove their worth or perish. His act of mercy toward a dying stranger was incomprehensible to her worldview, yet undeniably real. As Kira recovered, she observed Marcus's daily routines with growing fascination. She watched him tend to his atmospheric processors with the same care he had shown her wounds. When equipment malfunctioned during a particularly violent storm, she witnessed him work for 36 hours straight to prevent contamination of his research data. "Why do you exhaust yourself for machines?" she asked one evening as Marcus collapsed into his chair after another lengthy repair session. "This research could help terraform worlds for human colonies," he explained. "Families need safe places to live and grow. You serve those you have never met. We all do, in our own way. That's what makes us human." Kira struggled to understand this concept. In her culture, loyalty extended only to proven allies and blood relatives. The idea of sacrificing for strangers challenged everything she had been taught. 3 weeks after her arrival, Marcus's supply shuttle was scheduled to arrive. Standard procedure required him to report any discoveries, including alien contact. He could request evacuation for both of them, but Kira would face indefinite detention and study on Earth. The night before the shuttle's arrival, Marcus found Kira standing outside the station, gazing at the twin moons rising over the alien landscape. "I have repaired enough components to make my ship functional," she said without turning. "I can leave before your people arrive. You don't have to run. My presence endangers you. Your people will question why you helped me." Marcus joined her under the starlight. Let them question. Some things matter more than regulations. Kira turned to face him, her amber eyes reflecting the moonlight. "In my culture, we believe that actions create bonds stronger than blood. You saved my life when you had no obligation to do so. By our customs, this creates a debt that can never be fully repaid. I don't want repayment. I wanted to help. That is precisely why the debt is sacred." The supply shuttle arrived the next morning. Marcus stood in his laboratory, emergency beacon in his hand, watching through the window as the human transport descended through the atmosphere. Kira's ship lay hidden in a valley behind the station, ready for departure. He thought about regulations, protocols, and the comfortable certainty of following orders. Then he thought about amber eyes filled with gratitude, about a proud warrior who had learned that mercy was not weakness, and about the bridge they had built between two species who might have been enemies. Marcus deactivated the emergency beacon and opened his communication channel to the shuttle. "Research Station 7 to Transport Delta. Routine supply pickup only. No additional passengers or cargo for return." Later that evening, after the shuttle had departed and Kira's ship had vanished into the star-filled sky, Marcus sat alone with his instruments and his thoughts. His next report would mention unusual atmospheric readings during the recent storms, but nothing more. 6 months later, Marcus detected an encrypted transmission on frequencies no human technology should have been able to access. The message was brief: coordinates for a rendezvous point beyond the system's edge, and a single word his translator recognized: brother. The Valderon Republic had spent generations viewing other species as competitors or resources. But seeds of change had been planted in the mind of one scout who had experienced unprecedented kindness from a stranger. She carried new ideas back to her people, radical concepts about cooperation, sacrifice, and the strength that could be found in unity rather than domination. Marcus smiled as he plotted a course to the rendezvous coordinates. Sometimes the most important discoveries couldn't be measured by instruments or recorded in official reports. Sometimes they lived in the space between species, in acts of compassion that echoed across the stars and changed the course of civilizations. The universe had just become a smaller, more connected place.